All right, let's talk about something truly incredible today. We're diving into the story of one man who looked at a problem that many people thought was just impossible to solve: preventable blindness. It's a story about ingenuity, heart, and really, the power of a single, focused idea.
I want you to just picture this for a second. You're living high up in the Himalayas. Your ability to see isn't just about enjoying the view. It's about your ability to work, to get around on these dangerous paths, to survive. In a place like that, losing your sight isn't just a health problem. It can literally mean losing everything.
And yet, out of this very landscape, a man came along with a mission so powerful, so effective, that he earned this unbelievable nickname. So you have to ask, how on earth does a boy from a tiny, remote village become known as the god of sight?
Well, to really get it, we've got to go all the way back to the beginning. Back to a dream that, wasn't even his to start with.
Sanduk Ruit was born in 1954 in a place that's about as remote as you can imagine. We're talking no electricity, no running water. And the nearest school was an 8-day walk from his home. Think about that. Medical care was basically a fantasy. This is where his story starts.
And it's these words from his dad that really set everything in motion. They were more than just advice. It was a mission. His father saw the suffering around them and planted this seed in his son. And that little spark, it would end up starting a revolution that would change millions of lives.
Okay, so with that fire lit inside him, Root goes off to get the knowledge he needs. And this part of the story, this is where his personal quest really explodes into a global medical revolution.
So Root studies medicine, and eventually his path takes him to Australia. And that's where he meets the exact right person at the exact right time: Fred Hollows, another total visionary doctor who believed healthcare is a basic human right, not some luxury. This meeting, it changed everything.
This was the idea that clicked between them. They looked at the problem of cataracts, which is the main cause of preventable blindness, and they saw a system that was just way too expensive, way too slow, and totally out of reach for the people who needed it most. So they said, you know what? We're going to reinvent the whole thing.
And the difference between their idea and the status quo, it's just night and day. On one hand, you have the standard Western surgery, thousands of dollars, a long stay in a hospital. And on the other, the method they came up with. They figured out a way to do this delicate microsurgery without stitches and developed their own high-quality lenses for a fraction of the price. The result was a surgery that was quick, effective, and could be done pretty much anywhere.
And here it is. This is the number that changes everything. They figured out how to do this life-altering surgery for less than $25. Let that sink in for a second. Under $25. That's not just making something a little cheaper, that's a whole new ball game.
So, okay, they've got this incredible low-cost surgery. Problem solved, right? Well, not exactly. Having the cure is one thing, but getting it to the people who are lost in the mountains, that was a whole other challenge.
Because this is the real question, isn't it? It's great to have a hospital in a city, but what about the millions of people who live in villages that are completely cut off from the modern world? They can't get to you.
His answer was, honestly, kind of brilliant and a little bit crazy. He said, if they can't come to the hospital, we'll take the hospital to them. He created these mobile eye camps, basically packing up entire operating rooms and carrying them on the backs of mules or people through the toughest terrain you can imagine to perform these miracles where no surgeon had ever been before.
And as Dr. Riot himself says, the impact is so much bigger than just one patient. Think about it. When an older person can see again, they're not dependent on anyone anymore. The child who is their full-time caretaker can now go to school. The financial strain on the whole family just evaporates. It's a ripple effect of hope.
And this is the moment. The moment it all becomes real. The day after the surgery, when the bandages come off. Can you even imagine that feeling? After years of living in darkness, the very first thing you see is the face of your own child. That's the power of that sub-$25 surgery right there.
So what started as this mission in the mountains of Nepal? Well, it didn't stay there for long. The model they created was so effective, so easy to replicate, that it just started to spread all over the world. And that's how his reputation really began to build.
I mean, just look at these numbers. They're almost hard to believe. Dr. Ruit himself has personally given sight back to over 200,000 people. The institute he founded has made millions of those low-cost, high-quality lenses that are used across the globe. But maybe the most important part? He's trained surgeons from over 30 other countries to do what he does. That's how you make a lasting impact.
And we're talking a truly global reach here. From Ethiopia to Myanmar, he's even gone to a place as closed off as North Korea to operate and to teach. It just goes to show that this idea, this compassionate approach to healthcare, it can work absolutely anywhere.
So where does that leave us? What's the legacy of a man who's already done so much? Well, for him, the mission is nowhere near finished.
The thing is, for him, the work is never done. He continues with the exact same passion he started with. He's still traveling to the most remote places, still performing surgery, still teaching the next generation. Because for Dr. Ruit, this is a personal fight, and it's one pair of eyes at a time. And that really gets to the heart of it all, doesn't it? The surgery, it's not just about fixing eyeballs. It's about restoring a person's place in their family, in their community. It's about giving them back their dignity, giving them hope, and giving them a future.
So Dr. Ruit's story really makes you think. He looked at a problem everyone called impossible, threw out the old rulebook, and created a whole new solution fueled by simple compassion and brilliant innovation. It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other huge global challenges are out there, just waiting for someone to come along with a fresh perspective?